coming, everyone. The next presentation is by Michelle Walfred and Christy Mannering from the University of Delaware. The presentation is Quality Engagement versus Quantity of Followers.
Thank you. It's good to be here. We're one of the last sessions of the day, so I see some yawns out there, and I really appreciate you coming to listen to our session. So the first thing I always try to tell people about social media, because I need to remember it myself, is that the key word is social. So social media is not just a platform to push and put information and leave and don't go back. You need to be social just as if you're in a room talking to people. You want their feedback and you want to know what they think about what you've posted. So that's the key thing to remember in social media, is to be social and engaging. So one of the things to think about is to focus more on your engagement and less on your number. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. Thank you. With Facebook and Twitter, which are two platforms we use very, very regularly in addition to others, you can do a lot of cross-referencing and you can reach people, different audiences, and talk to them differently. So a lot of people might think that this is not something that you need to get involved in because it's going to go away. So that's why I researched that Facebook has actually been around since 2004. That's a decade now. I don't think it's going away. Same with Twitter, 2006. 8 years. I don't think it's going away. There's millions of people that are using these platforms on a regular, hourly basis. Some of you are doing it right now. I see you on your phones and on your laptops, and I know. So you understand the importance of this. How many people can you reach for free with your little smartphone or your iPad? You know, that's a really, really powerful tool. How many people in here use Twitter? Everybody? So I'm going to just skip the basic lingo because you already know what you're doing, so don't worry about that slide. The limitations of Twitter, we all know that 140 characters, that's limiting, especially when you're like me who rambles and rambles and rambles. And then if you add a link or you add a picture, then you're limited even more. So I always add the picture or add the link first and then write in the rest of the content because I know exactly how many characters I'm left with. Facebook. How many of you have Facebook profiles or pages? Everybody, so you don't need the basic lingo for that either. We'll just skip that slide. The limits of Facebook is, well, their algorithm is constantly changing. I'm sure that's just like a curse word in this room. Everybody's tired of hearing about the algorithm. And another thing is, because it's been around for 10 years, when you first signed in and you liked your favorite TV show or you liked your favorite band, and then they were adding companies and they were adding brands and you were liking all those, and then suddenly you have 50 hobbies and 400 likes and your news feed is just covered in material and you're not even getting the status updates that you really want to get. And so how do you cope with that as a person who's using Facebook and then as a person who's trying to reach people when they're being inundated by a bunch of other status updates? So that's a limitation that we're going to talk about a little bit. Again, we talked about it being social, and really you just need to be neighborly. So if somebody follows you or somebody likes your page, it would be really nice if you go and you like them back. You follow them back based on your platform. It's also nice if you send out a private message or a direct message to them and say, hey, thanks for following. I look forward to checking out your tweets. And then, you know, you're being neighborly, you're being personable, you're making yourself stand out from the other people who are following them, who they never hear from, they never get engagement. You're engaging right off the bat, and that can make a really big difference. So this isn't on the slide, this is just going up. I'm being flexible because social media is constantly changing, constantly flexible, and there's some tips that you can use to be better with your own material. So on Facebook, there's 101 rules of what not to do because you'll actually be penalized. So if you only post links to your content, the same website, your domain, extension.udall.edu, every time, you're penalized. So they're going to push your content to less people. If you change it up, and sometimes you just have text, and sometimes you have a photo, and sometimes you have a link, and you share things from other people's pages, it's not all about you, you're being neighborly, then your content's going to show up in more people's status news feeds. So that's good to know, and it's something that I didn't know until recently. It's part of the new algorithm change. Likewise, if you say, check out this photo or like this photo, it reads that term. You're penalized for saying, click like on this photo. The new Facebook algorithm does not like you doing that. They want somebody to like your photo because they want to like your photo, not because you're telling them to. So a way around that is to maybe offer an incentive and say, something like, for our creamery, we have a U-Dairy creamery, and we can say, our followers are going to be entered into a raffle for a U-Dairy creamery coupon, and do incentives like that. So that's a way to not use the like this photo terminology, but still get people an incentive to want to keep on keeping up with what you're posting. And so another thing is to make sure you always tag somebody else. So on Twitter and on Facebook, you can tag people. As a Facebook page, you cannot tag another person's profile. So Michelle and I will log out of being a page, log into being our own person, and then we can tag people. But as a page, you can tag another page. We can tag the Delaware Wildlife Association page, and then it shows up for them. They get a little alert saying somebody's sharing something with you, or somebody's posting something that has something to do with you. They're more likely to then share it, and then your insights will show you've got 5 likes from your page, and then on their page they received 8 likes, and so you went from reaching how many people. So I don't think that a lot of people understand you can have 300 likes on Facebook, but you can reach 3,000 people. So how does that happen? So if you look in your Facebook Insights and you click on the link, and it'll show you a whole breakdown of exactly how many people saw your post from your page, and then how many people saw your post from seeing it as an activity of one of their friends in their news feeds. Because if you like something, sometimes you can say, this person liked 15 things, right? And you see it in your news feed. And then also, if it's shared, you may not see that it was shared on your page. But if you go into the insights, you'll see this person shared it from this person's page, and so forth. Another thing is to make sure you're personable, because if you're just, we're academia, and it's hard to be personable. You don't want to be funny, but people like funny. And so every now and then, if you can just put up a picture, like we did recently, of a sheep that had a cat on his back on our farm. It was a sheep laying down with a cat on his back, and so we said, it's just like March. In like a lion, out like a lamb. What about if it's a cat? And that reached, instead of our 300 likes, over 3,000 people. And that's because it was a cute cat picture, And so then more people are going to say, hey, I wonder what else they're posting. With extension, you can do that so often. Weeds and flowers and pumpkins that 4-H people are carving. People love that, especially in 4-H. If they're carving pumpkins and you post their pumpkin and you tag 4-H, and then their parents are saying, oh, my kids are famous, then you've just picked up 50 new engagements. So I think I've rambled on enough. I'm going to pass it on to Michelle Walfred.
Thank you, Christy. We do have some numbers just because we're going to look at some actual photo examples, but we started Cooperative Extension Facebook page last year. So when I put this together, we had 328 Facebook likes. We had 615 on Delaware 4-H, and each of our 3 counties have 4-H county 4-H pages. So we have a total of 2146 likes. And on Twitter, we're growing. I think we're up on this now, but 343 followers on Twitter, and these are mostly organizations, not individuals, which is the power of Twitter, and 588 on 4-H, which we've had for 2 years. So here's some examples, just using insights. When we first opened Cooperative Extension webpage, we had 84 likes. This was a year ago. And then March 2000, we went up to 251 likes. This was a snow day. I was busy on a snow day. These are great days to type because people are home. And by the end of that snow day, we had gone up from 251 to 315. So that was pretty significant. Just posting things like, aren't you sick of this snow? We promoted Ask an Expert. Aren't you tired of the snow? Aren't you ready to garden? If you have questions, ask an expert. So we look all different kinds of ways to promote. Here's an example of decreased engagement. With the change in the algorithms, we started seeing the nuts, and we had 300 likes on our page, but 43, 49, not very dynamic. So this is when we've started to do some discovery that just because you have 300 likes or 1,000 likes and you post something out there, chances are that 1,000, 300, or 1,000 are not seeing what you're posting. So what do you do? Here's an example. I saw this site, bananas shaped like dolphins. Now, this is still, we're at 328 likes when this was taken. We had 647 people saw this. And we had, let's see, quite a few, oh, we don't have the analytics on that. Quite a few likes, 1 share. Over here for Throwback Thursday, we started doing Throwback Thursday. You'll notice 4,472 people saw that post. And not too bad for 328 likes on a page. And again, people tagged it. This was picked up by Extension 100 Years, their Facebook page. So it was shared, even though it wasn't shared direct. 6 shares showing up on from us, but then it's exponential after that. So if somebody else showing it, if you've ever shared a page, it'll say Jane Smith via UD Extension. So we get credit for that, even though Jane Smith is sharing it. Yeah, and meh. Happy, smiling people looking directly into the camera. It just resonates. This was at 5, this was during the state fair. We probably had about 250 likes at that point, but 582 people saw this. This was shared, 35 likes, direct likes, 7 comments, 1 share. We try humor. There's a place for humor. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. We throw things against the wall and we see what sticks. In this case, not too much happening with it. But we try, and sometimes, in some cases, it works. Okay, different time and place. We had different screenshots. We lost them. This is a young lady. We have a program called the Delaware Diamond Clover. It's sort of the equivalent of the Eagle Scout. And this young lady was the first Delaware recipient. So we posted this on Thursday at 4:33 p.m. 127 people saw it. A week later, a local paper picked it up, so we just re-released it. And we got 225. So you want to try different times of the day, maybe a different photograph. Just different people in front of the Facebook at different times gets you different results. But these are the things you want to track and find out what's working for you. And when you go into your insights, you can see this. Winter storm coverage, again, the snow day. I was sitting home. We bet all this snow DE, that was the hashtag for Delaware, this snow DE. Snow DE is making you think about your garden. Don't forget, you can ask an expert. The News Journal, our large paper in Delaware, was aggregating all the snow DEs. So Delaware Online has 25,000 views. So we showed up in their aggregate just because we used that hashtag. So there's some creativity with using topical current events. Okay. This is another thing a lot of people do not use. When you're on Facebook, you can when you manage your page, it's under your identity, and you can go up and you can say, I want to post as Michelle Wofford, or I want to post as UD Extension. But you can also go in under Edit Page and then use Facebook as your page title. And when you do that, then you can travel off of your page and you can comment. So you can go to the News Journal and say, thank you for that article on healthy living. We thought it was really great. Thanks for promoting us. So you can engage as your organization with other organizations by using Facebook as your page title. Okay. And then retweets. This one is, we had a weed science picture, and so I took a picture of Palmer amaranth, which is a two-week-old, it's a noxious weed in Delaware. So we retweeted, we posted that, and this is the amount of retweets we had in that one day. So we had, out of an original 343 likes on our Twitter account, by the end of the day, 3,800 people saw that weed science picture.
And we'll get this so you guys can hand that back and forth and talk.
Any questions?
First off, I want to say thank you for kind of giving us permission to be silly, because I'm very serious about that, because we always, we're an educational institution. Extension is all about education, and so everything we do should have some educational component. But I liked your comment about sometimes something silly just gets people to you, and then they look at the educational part. So I thought that was good. But when you were talking about the algorithm changes in Facebook, how do you keep track of that? Because it just seems to change so often.
So you have to be uber nerdy,
We've got some of those people.
which I am. And I am a member of a lot of blogs, and I get the newsletters, and I just stalk them. So if I see my reach dwindling or something changing, or Facebook changes their timeline for the 500th time, I'll just look into it and see what else is going on, because they're doing something. And I'm uber nerdy, and I can send you some emails of the blogs that I follow, because I feel that they're very helpful, and they'll send out digest emails, which are also very helpful. You know about digest emails. So I think you just need to be out there and searching for it when you see changes, because there's always a reason behind it. It's not just you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Make you walk there, Ben. Question, have you used any metrics for Twitter? And I'm thinking of things like hashtags, counting the hashtags, or the clicks on links, or cloud scores, things of that sort?
Cloud scores, so that's another uber nerdy thing. You must be one. I do follow the cloud scores. I don't really tell people about them, because I don't know that they'd understand them, but I look at them. But what we've just started using at the University of Delaware is Hootsuite Enterprise, which is not the free version, so it has a little bit more reporting and analytics. And in terms of Twitter, I don't think it can be beat. Hootsuite Enterprise allows you 6 or 7 different reports just on the insights of your Twitter analytics. How many people are seeing them, how many people are clicking on those links. You can find that out if you use bit.ly as a shortener, but then you're going to be looking at bit.ly 50 times if you're using 50 different links, and that's just a pain. But this, you can go in and generate a report anytime you want, and it's really helpful. So Hootsuite, I would recommend. Did you have any other recommendations? Any other questions? Really?
If not, I've got a question. Okay. What are the mechanics of reposting a Facebook post? Are you actually copying and pasting and putting it up again, or is there a mechanism to surface it on your page again? Because we do both.
We do both. So we'll copy something over and put it up again, repost a link, maybe use a different picture, or we'll share someone else's comment. But we will do both.
Okay.
So you're all tired.
One other thing I'll mention, you want to, with your photographs, try to ask a question of the viewer, of the Facebook visitor, something other than a yes or no. In other words, you're trying to elicit in them a comment. There's a popular decorating site called Reblinged, and she will post a picture of a kitchen, and she'll say, name 2 things you like about this picture and 1 thing you don't. And that forces people to comment, which increases your engagement.
This is makes me nervous. So one thing you reminded me of while you were talking is I have seen people, mommy blogs, who go out and they get people to comment on their statuses not that they're paying them, they're just saying, hey, can you comment on this status? And they're putting in 2 or 3 words, you're penalized for that. Facebook's algorithm somehow knows this. And so I don't know if you've seen, if there's a post that has 16 different comments, some of them start to disappear, and you have to click view comments, and they're not in order chronologically. They're in order by how long that comment and how engaging that comment is. I don't know how Facebook does it, little demons that they are, but they do it. They're very smart. The Facebook algorithm is super, super smart, and it keeps getting smarter. Is it getting smart? It must be getting smarter because it's making our lives more difficult. So don't so don't just ask people to comment. The yes or no thing is a really big, because you don't want them. They're not going to help you.